Toby, and today I'll be showing you an update of my Brachychiton rupestris or Queensland bottle tree, and I'll also be showing you the repotting of a larger one. So some of you have been asking how have my bottle trees been doing, so here's an update, and if you can see, these little plants are doing fine. The little leaves, the ones that they grew, as soon as they germinated, some of them have fallen off on some of the plants. You can see this one's dried up. Just get rid of that. And out of the, I can't remember how many germinated. I think we had 10 germinations or 11, but two or three of them germinated during winter, so that just came up and died back. But even the weak ones, like this one, was pretty weak, managed to survive through winter. And now it's starting to pick up vigor again. You can see there's new growth. So if I do a quick count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little seedlings. So that's really good. And they're doing well. They're starting to develop the bottle, you can see right there. Some of them have started to develop the bottle. Some of them haven't. That's still pretty thin. That's fine. They'll start to thicken over the years. Those are just the new leaves, if you can see. They don't look like the juvenile leaves yet. I don't know what they're called, but I like to call them pre-juvenile leaves. They look a bit like the adult leaves, but after these leaves grow, they'll grow the juvenile leaves. And I'll show you one that I bought as a tube stock around 2 or 3 years ago. So I'll be repotting this one, and you can see this is the juvenile leaves of the tree. It looks like a hand, and I've just had it in this pot because I didn't have a lot of pots back then, and it's been here ever since. And last year it actually grew a lot compared to previous years. I think the pot is starting to get small for it, so I need to repot it today. So I have to set up my soil, and I'll show you the process. So here is the tree, and if I just quickly drag it out of the pot, you can see the roots are quite nice. If I show you the base of the tree, it looks alright. I might have to go and tease that. That's very pop out at the bottom, and it's just got this big root curling around, so I have to deal with that. So I'll do any pruning required to the roots. Let me see what the root base looks like. I know bottle trees can take very severe transplants, so I might remove a lot of the root base. It's very pot bound, so after I do that, it'll go into this pot, and I'll show what it looks like. So I cut those roots off. It's here. You can see that's actually not a lot of roots. It's just a thick roots with nothing at the end. All the thin roots are on the top for some reason, so that's sufficient root for it to survive. So I better plant it in here and spread the roots out, because if it just have curling roots, when it does develop the bottle, it may not look as nice. Whereas if I get a radial root or just one single root going down and the bottle forms, it'll look a lot nicer. It's starting to form, if you can see here. It's starting to form, look a little bit like a bottle, and slowly tapering up to the top. And if it does form in this pot, it'll look really nice. And I have had this for around 4 years, or 3 or 4 years, and I'm really hoping it does form a bottle soon, because that's what you want to grow the bottle tree for, the trunk. And I'm assuming you guys have seen what they look like. They do look really nice when they're old. So if you do have space in your yard and your climate is suitable for it, I do recommend planting one of these. They look really nice. So here is the finished tree, or finished repotting. And if I just go to the side, it's a bit slanted, and that's how it just grew. So that when it does grow the bottle will be a bit slanted. So I can't really do anything about that. I can't straighten it or anything, but that's fine. And it just hasn't been growing very vigorously. And when I got it, it was around, I think, 2/3 of this height, and over 3 or 4 years, it only grew that much. So it hasn't been growing very vigorously, although they're said to put around a foot of growth each year. So I'm hoping once it does get better soil, there's perlite in there, and there's a lot of sand and bark and some soil activator, so it's got plenty of nutrition in that soil. So I hope it actually does grow a lot more vigorously this year, and it does start to thicken, so I can enjoy the bottle. And maybe we get some lateral branches up there as well. Right now it's just one trunk. So that's the repotted tree. Okay, so this is the start of a new section of this video. I know I published the previous section before, and I've taken it down because we got this new video, and although it was at the time, I just wanted to get that video out because a lot of people have been asking me how has my little bottle tree seedlings been doing. But now I'm going to show you a update again after I've repotted the big one and what the little ones have done. So if we look at the small ones, I have to feel a bit of the soil because obviously each time I water, a bit of the soil escapes from the pot, and the level which initially was around there slowly starts to decrease. So if I just pull it up, you can see the little bottle trees have a little bottle shape at the bottom, and the leaves are doing really well. New growth on all of them. These are the ones that survived, and I know that they're gonna still survive. So if I count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little bottle tree seedlings. So that's really good. And maybe at the spring, I'll have to repot them. I'll see what I can do with these. Now I've come over to my big one, the one that I repotted. Look at this new growth. If I put my hand here, this new growth is well over 20 centimeters in length. From the tip of the leaf to the back, that's well over 20 centimeters. If I just put my hand next to it, look at it. Look at that. This is the most I've ever seen it grow. If you remember, it was in that little shallow pot with barely any soil for around 2 to 3 years, and each year it's grown about that much with 4 leaves. And this was last season's growth, and it's decent. And from here above is all of this year's growth. So this was this year's, and now this is this year's, and it's still continuing to grow. Look at the beautiful juvenile leaves. The bottle, however, slow to develop. It will thicken up over time, but again, that will probably be in a lot of years' time. But just look at that leaf. Look at my hand. Look at the leaf. Look how big it is. Never seen it grow this healthily. So I think the repotting affected a lot of its health. Even though I cut some of the roots off because it was spiraling in the pot and the bottom was a bit pot bound, I think it actually benefited from that. And just look at how it recovered. Look at that. So again, if you have space in your garden or anything, I do recommend planting them in the ground. I mean, if you plant it at this stage, you probably will grow, but plant a bit bigger, and I'll probably give another update at around the end of the growing season. The end of the growing season is fast approaching. Here are the bottle tree seedlings. I know the soil level's gone down a bit. Every time I water, a bit of soil escapes, and exposing a bit of the taproot, and I know I have to fill the soil back up, but these seedlings have developed really nice. Look at their leaves. Very nice. I'll have to give them a repot. I don't know why that one has 2 liters, but that's fine. Give them a repot. So if we head over to our big guy. Again, a set of leaves from before dropped. It's very normal with bottle trees. Again, sometimes they're called semi-deciduous trees because they lose some of the leaves. This is a new growth. Look how big that is compared to my hand. Very nice. That's my hand there. Look at that. Bottle still hasn't grown that much yet, but very good start. Very good growth, and I think it's getting established in this pot, and I think we will get a lot of new growth next year considering how much leaves there are and how much energy it's going to produce. So here's going to be a final update of the bottle trees, and it's coming to the end of the growing season. You can see this guy has grown a lot. Again, every time it grows new leaves, old ones drop. And that's just a pattern for these trees, but look at these beautiful leaves grown this year. These should be this year's leaves. All of this, that's the most growth I've ever had on this tree. And I think I did enjoy that repot. Just making sure the roots are not in the ground, so that's fine. We come over here to our seedlings. They're doing fine as well. Look at these guys go. I know this one's a bit covered. There's another one down there, small one. These will get repotted next season, so that's going to be for the video that's going to come out at the end of next season, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so if you haven't checked out how I grew these guys from seeds, I'll link that video in the description below. But thanks for watching this video, and please like and subscribe and share my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.